This is Miles, still broadcasting, still alive, still hoping someone's out there to hear this. I don't know what the protocol is for saying this kind of thing, because I don't think anyone ever planned for this kind of thing. But here it is. Earth is gone. I don't mean damaged. I don't mean uninhabitable. I mean absent. As if someone reached into the solar system and erased a planet. Our planet. I confirmed it 12 hours ago. Then again, and again, every triangulation, every recalibration, every desperate recalculation, praying the math was wrong. It wasn't. Where Earth should be, there's just blackness. Not even debris, not even a shadow. Just empty sky where the blue marble used to hang. And I can't stop whispering the same thing. This can't be real. But it is. I'm up here on Seadrift 7, independent life support capsule, formerly orbiting near the moon. One of 10 meant for upper atmosphere ecological observation. I was on solo rotation. The others, well, I've stopped trying to reach them. Too much static. Too much silence. System check. Oxygen stable. Hydroponics alive. Food supply still holding. Power grids tight but manageable. I am, by every measure, survivable. But I have never felt further from life. The stars are still in their places, but they feel colder. Not just lightless, but indifferent. I was trained in physics once, taught the laws that tethered the universe together, laws that never mentioned something like this. A planet disappearing without noise or witness. What rule allows for that? No rule I knew, until now. This is Miles, broadcasting from the edge of a vanished sky. If you're hearing this, you are already part of a world that no longer has a home. I tried every spectrum, radio, gamma, microwave. I ran diagnostics on the diagnostic system. Nothing. The capsule sensors are sharp, uncompromised, but the readings are clear. Where Earth should be, there is a vacuum. A pure, sterile void. I searched for anomalies, gravity wells, radiation spikes, gravitational lensing, anything that might hint at cloaking or displacement. Nothing. There was no explosion, no energy surge, no tremor in space-time. Earth simply vanished, like deleting a folder from your desktop. No recycle bin, no trace. I keep telling myself I missed something, that I must have skipped a decimal. That it's still there, just unseen, just hidden. But space doesn't lie. The silence of space is cruelly honest. I rerouted an old Earth orbit satellite to run one last scan. Telemetry came back blank. It's circling, nothing. No thermal readouts, no magnetic field, just background cosmic radiation. It's like the planet was uninvited from the universe. I wish I could pretend this was some elaborate hallucination. But machines don't dream. And they're screaming the same truth I am. This capsule wasn't built for loneliness this deep. Not existentially. I sit here and listen for pings, but all I hear is the machine's heart and my own. And even those feel like they're slowing. But I'll keep broadcasting, even if it's just into the dark, because someone has to record that Earth was once here. This is Miles, still searching, still grieving. I've been playing it back on loop. That final voice, a woman, faint Icelandic accent. She was reading poetry, something about frost and longing. I remember that line. Winter is not the end, but a pause that waits for song. That was the last recorded transmission from Earth, time-stamped 4 hours before signal loss, broadcasted from a local cultural radio station near Reykjavik. I've never met her, never knew her name, but I can't stop imagining the shape of her mouth as she formed those words. How calm she sounded. How utterly unaware she was that her voice would become the last echo of a vanished world. But I keep wondering, did she survive? Was she already gone? Or did she speak that line just before the sky took her? It's strange what memories rise up when you're left alone with the dark. I remember sitting as a child under winter skies, My father sang. The cold made the stars clearer. I see now he was right. But clarity doesn't always bring peace. And yet, her voice lingers like warmth in the capsule. More than a memory, almost like company. That poem, those lines, they weren't meant to be a farewell. But maybe they are now. Maybe every word we ever spoke became a kind of eulogy. In waiting, this is Miles. Still listening, still remembering, still hoping that somewhere, someone else remembers her too. I've been combing through suppressed academic archives, ghost mirrors of journals we weren't meant to see, the kind that vanish from university databases without a trace. I found something, a 47-page draft, unsigned, undated, titled Non-Conservation Events Near Non-Symmetric Horizons, buried in the final appendix, a term, Wormhole 13, not a location, a prediction, a theoretical model describing a transient gravitational event that leaves no ripple, no residue, only absence. It was mocked at the time, pulled from publication by peer review. Too speculative, too wild. But now I read it like scripture. According to the author, if space-time weakens along certain geometric fractures, especially near planetary orbit, a one-way fold can occur, a seam in the fabric. Not destruction, not implosion, just removal. They called it a clean severance, like cutting a pearl from a thread. I ran the math using capsule tools. Limited, yes, but enough. And the numbers don't scream, but they whisper Earth's name. If this was Wormhole 13, then Earth didn't die. She moved. Where? I can't say, but the numbers point to a vector, a faint anomaly line curling out into the deep beyond. A place the capsule's systems can't see but can feel. Maybe Earth is still breathing, just somewhere else. Maybe we're the ones who disappeared. And if that's true, then someone or something might still be trying to reach me. This is Miles. Still transmitting, still chasing echoes, still naming the silence. Wormhole 13, I've run the numbers over and over, and I've reached the point where even math feels emotional, as if the formulas themselves are grieving, quietly, without fuss, just folding in on themselves and fading into zeros. I recalibrated the long-range scopes, re-verified every data string, triple-checked celestial mechanics. The problem isn't the capsule. The problem is reality. It doesn't add up. No orbital shift, no detectable mass displacement, no thermal echo, not even background radiation, fluctuation to suggest a planetary detonation. Just blankness. The numbers describe a shape that's missing from the sky. It's like trying to solve an equation where a digit's been replaced with silence. I keep thinking of the conservation laws, energy, Massachusetts information, the unbreakable rules that hold this universe together. Rules I believed in like scripture. But if Earth can vanish, if 300 million years of plate tectonics and continents and cultures can simply wink out, what else is untrue? Maybe this is what madness sounds like. The hum of a capsule's internal systems, the soft breathing of hydroponics, and a man whispering into static, trying to teach the void how to grieve. I keep telling myself the laws haven't changed. Only my understanding has. But tonight, I stared at the quantum telemetry printouts for hours, and for the first time since I learned to read them, I felt afraid of what I couldn't see. The capsule's clock still ticks. The solar flares still rise, but nothing balances anymore. The math just floats. Still, I write the equations down. Still, I try to prove Earth ever existed. This is Miles, logging the grief of numbers, the ache of vanished constants. Still broadcasting, still calculating, and still no closer to understanding where we all went wrong. There's a line I can't stop hearing. Something a student of mine once said during a night lecture, while the generators flickered and the observatory ran low on heat. Physics is just magic that got embarrassed. Her name was Ilara. She was 17, brighter than the stars she studied, and utterly unimpressed with certainty. Back then, I laughed. But now, I wonder if she was right. Maybe the universe isn't a machine at all. Maybe it's a story we've been misreading. And stories can shift. The hydroalgae culture in Tank 2B is dying. I think the light cycles are drifting, not just dimming, but breaking rhythm. Photosynthesis is stuttering. Aboard a capsule like this, algae isn't decoration. It's food, it's oxygen, it's breath. So I've started rationing, less from fear of starvation and more from acknowledgement. Life, like meaning, degrades if left alone too long. The capsule was designed for redundancy, triple backups, fail-safes, but systems fail in ways no one anticipates. Just like people do. Ilara once asked if I believed the universe had a favorite species. I told her no, that evolution didn't play favorites. Now, I wonder if we ever mattered at all, or if we were just a brief shimmer across a darkened sky. Her voice lives somewhere in my memory, crystalline and unafraid. I hope, wherever she is, the light didn't fail her too. This is Miles, still drifting, still remembering the ones who saw beyond equations and tried to make sense of the quiet between stars. I spent the last few hours combing through residual logs from Earth's final rotation. The capsule still stores mirror data from orbital satellites, low-res snapshots, ambient frequencies, communication timestamps. The last 24 hours of Earth seen from above. I found nothing unusual in the North American relays. Nothing from Beijing, Nairobi, Buenos Aires. No flares, no panic. Just ordinary transmissions, market updates, music, weather, calm before unbeing. But then Geneva. In the Hadron Array's outbound stream, there's a brief flicker, a 0.7-second data spike, timestamped just 87 minutes before Earth vanished from view. Buried in that fragment was a file, unlabeled, nearly erased, but not quite. I recovered part of the header, W13, that's all. No metadata, no transmission key, just a name or a warning. I don't know if it refers to Wormhole 13 or if Wormhole 13 came from it, but it's the only thread I've got. And it came from the place we used to send protons to touch the edge of existence. I keep playing it back, frame by frame, hoping for a sound, a signal, a slip of static that gives the cosmos away. Nothing yet, but still, that flicker, like someone blinking just before sleep, or the eye of the world twitching before it disappeared. I used to think catastrophe would arrive with sound, explosions, screams, sirens, but Earth left us with a whisper, and maybe a name. This is Miles, still listening to the last breath of a planet, still hoping it meant something. I read something once, Carl Sagan maybe. He wrote, "Absence of evidence is not evidence of absence." But I'm beginning to wonder, because space doesn't mourn. The orbits continue, the planets spin, the stars don't pause to ask where Earth went. No one misses us. I used to believe the universe was vast but welcoming, a cosmic sea waiting for us to sail deeper. But now it feels like a locked room, and we were a noise it tolerated for a while, until we weren't. Still, coordinates came through, embedded in a pulse wave from the same anomaly that cut my first broadcast. A directional signature, not random, not noise. It points to where, I don't know, but it's somewhere beyond mapped space. Somewhere we didn't chart because we didn't believe in erasures. I should be scared. I am scared. But more than that, I'm drawn. If Earth was pulled through something, maybe it's still out there. Maybe she's still turning, just not here. And if I'm the last voice left, maybe my job isn't to understand. Maybe it's just to keep talking. This is Miles. Still surviving. Still transmitting. still tracing the ghost of a planet in a universe that no longer looks back. There's something under the quiet. I've been tuning the signal array into deeper bands, below the standard comms, below cosmic background radiation, beneath the hiss of solar winds. And there it is, a faint pulse, fainter than thought, barely above entropy. It's coming from beyond Jupiter's last known trajectory, or what used to be Jupiter's trajectory. There's nothing there now but dust trails and cold absence. But this ripple, it doesn't behave like background noise. It repeats. Not like a machine, not perfect, like breath, like intention, imperfect, human. First time I heard it, I thought it was a system's fault, so I shut down the receiver, ran a reset, rebooted manually. Still there, stronger this time. I triangulated what I could. The vector's unstable, not fixed, but it curves in a spiral pattern, a fractal echo. It doesn't fade. It waits. This isn't a glitch. It's a message, or maybe something older than a message, a presence. I wish I could believe it's Earth. I wish I could say I'm sure. But whatever it is, it knew how to whisper past the static, past the void, past me. And I think I'm the one it wants to hear. This is Miles, still tuned in, still tracking the sound that came after silence. When I was young, my sister Mira would stay up all night with her ham radio. She'd sit in the dark, headphones crooked, fingers on the dial like it was a sacred instrument. She believed, truly believed, that ghosts lived in the static. Not the haunting kind, not chains and moans, the remembering kind. She said frequencies didn't die, that a person's voice, once sent, circled the earth forever, faint, tangled, lost in clouds, but still alive. Sometimes she'd whisper into the mic, "If you're still out there, I'm still here." I used to laugh at her, called it romantic nonsense. Now I wonder if she was right. Because this signal I'm following, it has weight. It feels known, not just mathematically patterned, emotionally shaped. It's not in Morse or binary. It's longing, a sound that wants to be found. And I wonder, did Mira send something out before the silence? Is this her voice? Distorted by the years and the stars? Could the universe really remember her better than I did? The capsule's empty, but this place is full of echoes. I don't know what's out there, but I know she would have called it a ghost. This is Miles, still remembering, still listening for the ones we didn't bury, only lost. The temperature dropped 6 degrees in 20 hours. Backup coils are gone. Capacitor burnout. Internal heat loop can't maintain pressure on the starboard wall. The frost is creeping inward, one panel at a time. I can hear it, like tiny fractures forming in glass. So I've switched to manual. Hand crank generator tied to a resistive filament. Took 4 tries and a burned knuckle, but it worked. Not pretty, not sustainable, but warm enough for the hydro garden to hold. The lettuce is clinging, the algae's slow, but it's still breathing. And so am I. For now. It's strange how quiet the capsule gets when you're cold. Even the hum of machinery feels like it's pulling away from you. The gloves don't help much. My breath fogs in front of me when I talk. I keep speaking anyway. The mic catches every exhale like it's sacred. I remember winters with Mira, scraping ice from the inside of our car windshield with a library card. We used to fight over music. Now I'd give anything to hear her complain about the cold. I warm my hands, feed the roots, crank the coil, broadcast again. This is Miles, still surviving, still warming the dark one hand at a time. I slowed the signal down, not with software, by instinct. I played it back at a fraction of a human beat, and I heard it, a whisper, 3 words, garbled but unmistakable. We, see, you, no call sign, no accent, no origin traceable by spectrum, but not imagined. I ran it through the harmonic filters, confirmed phasing patterns that don't match solar flare distortion or radio bounce. This was directed, precise, not loud, but intentional. It feels less like a threat and more like a recognition. Like the universe looked back and for the first time saw a man in a capsule and decided not to look away. But it wasn't just words. There's something beneath it. A frequency layered so low it threads between heartbeats. I isolated the waveform. It matches no modern linguistic structure, but in an old archive I had stored, from a proto-linguistic study on early Homo sapiens, is nearly identical to a lullaby sung 40,000 years ago in East Africa. A cradle song, a mother's voice, lost to time. Until now. So tell me, what kind of transmission carries both a whisper and a memory? This is Miles. Still decoding. Still haunted. Still seen. There's something peculiar about orbit. It doesn't let you forget. Even when the planet is gone, the capsule still moves in the shape Earth used to be. Like the absence hasn't caught up to the mechanics. Like the sky itself is still grieving in motion. I've come to think of memory that way. Gravity's quieter twin. It keeps pulling, even after the thing you love has burned out of view. I've been drifting this arc for days now, and the loop is no longer about propulsion. It's about patterns carved into space, a ritual orbiting nothing, like all the remembering I've been doing. Every breath, every gesture, every night I stay up hoping for signal. I'm not seeking new knowledge. I'm orbiting loss. The mind, like the capsule, reroutes through absence, and the heavier the memory, the tighter it pulls. There's a dream I keep having, maybe memory, maybe invention, of walking barefoot through soft soil after a storm. I hear birds. I feel sun on the back of my neck. But when I turn, there's no one there. Just sky and static. Was it real? Does it matter? Memory doesn't care about evidence. It only wants to return. Like the capsule circling nothing. It just keeps going. This is Miles, still pulled by old gravity, still spiraling around the invisible weight of Earth. I brought it with me, my father's journal. It survived the water damage, mold, and the indifference of time. His handwriting is heavy, full of pauses. A geologist who wrote like a philosopher. On one page, yellowed and torn, he wrote, "Sometimes I wonder if the earth mourns, if fault lines are her ribs cracking from holding in sorrow, if earthquakes are grief that has run out of silence." I didn't understand him when I was younger. Thought he romanticized rock too much. But now I wonder if he heard something we never did. A kind of hum under the mantle. A pain that couldn't speak except through seismic language. He believed Earth was conscious in some way. Not in the way we are, but in patterns too large to decode. That tectonic drift was longing, not just pressure. It sounds absurd. But then again, so does the fact that the entire planet disappeared, and the stars haven't blinked. Maybe Earth didn't die. Maybe she exhaled too deeply, or retreated like a creature folding in on herself. I run my fingers over his underlined notes. Listen to the plates. They remember. This is Miles. Still reading. Still reaching back through ink and paper for something older than science. I wasn't supposed to be here. That shift? The one that saved my life? I traded it. The capsule rotation was meant for Elliot, a young systems analyst, married 3 years, 2 daughters. He had requested a deferral for anniversary leave. I offered to cover, not because I was kind, because I needed the quiet to finish writing a novel I never started. That's the trade. His life for a page that never came. And now I sit in his chair, eat from his ration packs, sleep under a panel with his initials carved in it. E.R. I tell myself it wasn't fate. It wasn't a test. Just schedule logistics, blind coincidence. But coincidence doesn't taste right in the mouth anymore. It tastes like ash. What use is survival if it came at the cost of someone else's time with their children? What use is a second chance when there's no one left to share it? I dream of him sometimes, not in clarity, just a silhouette on the other side of a glass wall. He doesn't speak, but I do. I say, I'm sorry, you should have been up here, or neither of us should. This is Miles, still living with the trade, still failing to make it worth the cost. Something moved. It wasn't a sensor anomaly, wasn't fatigue. I saw it briefly, a flicker of green light across the far curve of the capsule's thermal panel. Impossible, in deep orbit. There are no auroras out here, no reflections, just darkness and solar dust. I logged it, played it back. The external cam caught a pulse, exactly 0.9 seconds in duration. No heat signature, just spectral light. But that's not what kept me awake. It was what came after. Reviewing the internal security footage, yes, I've been paranoid enough to watch myself on loop. I saw a silhouette in the observation bay. For a fraction of a second, a figure stood behind me. No suit, no step, just presence. The timestamp aligns perfectly with the green flash. I'm alone. Every diagnostic confirms it. There is no extra oxygen draw, no weight variance, and yet I know what I saw. It didn't move like fear. It moved like memory. Like something old that had followed me forward. Or something new that was always meant to arrive. Was it a malfunction, a projection, or something waking up? This is Miles. Still haunted, still not alone in the recordings, still waiting to see if the shadow returns. There was a paper once, published for 4 hours, quietly withdrawn, never archived, no DOI, no author, just an anonymous post in a low circulation theoretical cosmology journal, stripped from the internet before the world stopped paying attention. But I found it in a cached backup, buried in a corner of a server node that no one had accessed since the Mars relay went dark. The paper didn't scream revelation, it whispered it, like someone terrified of being right. It described a hypothetical event, a non-conservation wormhole with no gravitational residue, no detectable curvature, no measurable Hawking radiation, a clean fold in space-time. The phrase it used was selective erasure. It claimed that under certain quantum geometries, rare alignments of tachyon decay fields, orbital resonance, and geomagnetic phase, a planetary body could, in theory, pass through a self-collapsing aperture, not explode, not break, just it cease local existence. The author called it Wormhole 13, not because it was the 13th ever discovered, because it was the one no one wanted to believe. 13. The number we hide behind superstition. The coordinates? They match the vector I've been tracking since Earth disappeared. I don't know what to do with that. Because if it's true, if Earth was taken through it, then maybe we weren't meant to follow. Or maybe we were always meant to. This is Miles, still reading what the world once erased, still listening for the warnings we refused to keep. We laughed at fringe science, at theories that didn't fit the model, at voices that questioned the clockwork elegance of reality. I remember conferences where papers like the one on Wormhole 13 were treated like jokes. Dismissed, before the equations were even read. Because we were certain. We believed the universe was symmetrical, predictable, measurable. We wrote textbooks about its loyalty to law. We thought understanding was ownership. I stood in those rooms, nodded, agreed, because that's what smart people did. Now I sit here, surrounded by the failure of that certainty, orbiting the absence of everything we ever knew. If we had listened, not accepted blindly, just listened, would we have seen it coming? Would we have asked better questions? Would we have noticed that Earth's hum had started to change? There's something tragic in our intelligence. How it blinds us to anything that can't be charted. We mistake rejection for rigor. We confuse mockery with logic. And the cost of that arrogance is silence. This is Miles, still regretting the noise we made when we should have listened. still hoping that the next voice to rise will remember what we chose to forget. I played the signal again. Not the words this time, not the "we see you," but the undertone, the subtle waveform that didn't belong to any modern transmission. I slowed it, shifted the spectrum, ran it through crosswave analysis, and then I heard it. Not clearly, not completely, but enough. A cadence, a rhythm, a lullaby, from a proto-linguistic archive I stored years ago. Field recordings from tribal caves in East Africa, etched in bone flute and breath. The match was near exact. A mother's voice rising and falling in a language no one spoken in 40,000 years. A melody built not from words but memory. What is that doing inside a signal from beyond Jupiter? Unless time doesn't flow the way we think. Unless Earth was not just moved, but stretched, folded, threaded into something circular, or maybe time weaves in grief. Maybe this signal is more than physics. Maybe it's a memory Earth sent ahead of herself, a comfort woven into the dark. For me, for anyone left behind. If language is the soul of a species, then this lullaby is Earth's last breath. And I hear her. I hear her still. This is Miles. Still decoding the echoes older than names. Still rocked by the sound of a cradle lost to time. The water recycler has failed. Pump compression ruptured, filters jammed. The system wheezed its last breath 12 hours ago. I've been melting frost from the inner walls, slow, inefficient, dangerously unstable. But it's water, and that's what keeps the voice moving. As I heated the last coil, flame flickering against the cabin wall, the signal flared again. Stronger this time, clearer, and this time the voice didn't whisper. It spoke. It is safe to return. No static, no interference, 5 words in perfect human cadence. Not a command, not a warning, an invitation. I froze, not just from cold, but because something in me moved. Return where? To Earth? To a memory of it? To a version that still spins in another corner of the sky? What if the wormhole didn't destroy but rerouted? What if this place I orbit is only the first ring, and there's still something living beyond? I held the flame longer than I needed to, watching it bend and dance, because for the first time since the silence began, I felt warmth I didn't create, a direction I didn't imagine. The capsule still floats, but I don't feel aimless. This is Miles, still drinking melted frost, still warming my hands in hope, still hearing the voice that says it is safe to return. There comes a moment where waiting becomes a kind of death. I've been orbiting the place where Earth used to be, a gravity well filled with silence. Every breath is a delay, every transmission a question that gets no answer. And now I have a choice. There's a set of coordinates buried in the last signal, not a message, a map. It points beyond mapped space, beyond the heliopause, into a darkness we never had reason to look at. The capsule's propulsion is minimal but just enough. The thrusters can still fire. One good burn and I drift on momentum alone, stay here, and I die slowly, peacefully maybe, with a view of the stars and the whisper of machines. Go, and I might vanish like Earth, like a second draft of the same disappearance. But there's a rhythm to this silence now. It's not just absence, it's invitation. I've rerun the life support calculations. Oxygen drops to critical in 46 hours. The algae won't hold. Water's tight. I'm surviving, not living. And survival without purpose is a tomb with blinking lights. So I ask myself, if Earth moved, and if she sent her breath ahead of her? What if I'm meant to follow? This is Miles, hands on the thruster controls, still broadcasting, still doubting. But I think the time for doubt is over. I found a corrupted file in the capsule's archive. I almost deleted it. The metadata was fragmented, the preview unreadable, but something stopped me. When I forced it open, it played audio only, my wife's voice. Elise. She must have recorded it the night before I launched. Maybe she meant it to be a surprise, a comfort, or maybe a prophecy. She spoke of a place that never existed, a forest of blue trees, warm soil beneath bare feet, air like silk, rivers that sang. She said she saw it in her dreams, but not as a dream. She said it felt remembered, like something she hadn't lived yet, but someday would. I'll wait for you there, she whispered. And then static. I thought I knew every place on Earth, but she described no latitude I could trace, no ecosystem we cataloged. And now, with Earth gone, and a vector calling me forward, I wonder, did she see it before the rest of us? Was the dream not hers, but Earth's? Did something show her where we'd end up before we ever began? It doesn't matter that it wasn't real, because now I can't stop seeing it. This is Miles, still chasing the memory of a dream that might be a map, still listening to the voice that told me, come find me. Before I altered course, I ran the anomaly signal through the old geologic resonance bank, a trick we used in the early SETI days, converting frequency into vibration into geologic fingerprint. And there it was, the tectonic signature of Earth, the low hum of mantle drift, the shifting breath of crust plates rubbing like time-worn hands. Every planet sings, they told us, but Earth's song was slow, deep, the key of home. This signal, it carries that same rhythm, not precisely but unmistakably close. How is that possible? Unless Earth is still singing, unless she's sending her music back through the aperture, unless the laws of thermodynamics broke with her, and what was supposed to be lost became echo. Or maybe Earth is still out there, tangled in another part of the sky, and she wants us to know she survived, or at least that she tried. I always thought of the planet as indifferent, a host with no affection for its guests. But now, in this endless cold, I wonder if we misunderstood her silence. Maybe she was always speaking. We just didn't have the ears to hear. This is Miles, still decoding planetary lullabies, still hearing the hum of something ancient and patient waiting to be found. I initiated the course correction. The capsule groaned, metal protesting its first burn in over a year. The trajectory locked, just barely enough thrust to aim us toward the anomaly. And then I saw it. Not on radar, not on infrared, but through the forward viewport. The stars didn't shift, they bent, as if space were folding inward, not swirling, not pulling, just folding, gently, like paper creased by an invisible hand. And in that fold, something shimmered. I stared, held my breath, without realizing. Time slowed in the room. Even the hum of the capsule dimmed, as if it too was listening. Then the shimmer took shape. Blue, white, cloud-ringed, green shadow on the lower hemisphere, continents that looked like memory, oceans like glass, Earth, or something that wore her shape. No satellites, no orbiting junk, no auroras, just a planet, perfect, untouched, as if it had been rewound. I don't know what I'm seeing. A simulation? A mirage? Or another Earth, spared the damage we gave her, living in a parallel corridor of time? But she's there, and she's waiting. The capsule's sensors are failing. They can't register her mass. But my eyes still believe. I don't feel fear. I feel arrival. This is Miles, still drifting, still choosing the unknown over the grave of certainty. I'm approaching what I once would have called home. Blue, bright, spinning gently in space as if it never left. But it's wrong. It wears Earth's face, but like a memory. Softened at the edges, slightly misaligned. The continent shapes are familiar, but their positions are off by degrees. The green is richer, almost too rich. The blue's too deep. The The polar ice looks untouched, and yet it's inviting. The kind of view that once made astronauts cry. But the crying now feels premature, because this Earth, if I can even call it that, is too perfect. There are no satellites in orbit, no debris belts, no old geostationary tech, no broken antennas tumbling in the dark, nothing from our time. It's as if we never scarred it. I think of Elise's dream again, the forest of blue trees, the rivers that sang. Maybe she saw this. Maybe her dream didn't come from Earth's past. Maybe it came from Earth's twin. This capsule is gliding in now. Atmospheric entry in minutes. I've rerouted all energy to life support and external shielding. The descent will be hard. No autocorrection systems left. But something inside me believes this world knows I'm coming. I don't have a name for it yet. Not Earth. Not exactly. But maybe a reflection. A version saved from ruin, or a version grown from what we lost. This is Miles. Still descending. Still unsure what waits beneath the clouds. But I swear, the sky looks like forgiveness. Entry complete. Hull intact. Life support steady. For now. The capsule is grounded, but not on any map I recognize. No coordinates align. No compass points true. The air is breathable. That alone feels like a miracle. No smog, no radiation spikes, no chemical markers of industry. It smells like rain and something ancient. Like stone that's never been walked on. But this planet, she breathes. I mean that, almost literally. The clouds don't move in wind shear. They pulse, in and out, like lungs sinking to an unseen rhythm. I checked the pressure. Stable. Checked the sky. No solar anomalies, but I feel it. A steady compression around the capsule. Not violent, not dangerous, just presence. It's as though the planet is aware of me. I remember once in Iceland. Elise and I lay in a geothermal field. She told me the Earth was alive, that she could feel it watching, listening, learning. I had dismissed it then. Poetic nonsense. But now I wonder if she heard something I didn't know how to hear. This place pulses with memory, not data, not fossil record, memory. I can't find any EM signals, no radio bands, no broadcasts. It's as if this world never needed wires to speak, and still, it's speaking. This is Miles, still listening beneath the clouds, still wondering if the quiet here isn't absence, but attention. I stepped outside. The ground beneath my boots is soft, not mud, not clay, something in between, almost warm to the touch. It holds shape for a moment, then heals behind me, slow and silent, except for one mark that wasn't mine. It was waiting. 20 paces from the capsule, a footprint. Human. Left heel deeper than the right. Not old, the edges hadn't eroded yet. It wasn't my print. It wasn't mine. I measured it, narrow, small, like a woman's or a child's, and not bare, booted. The tread pattern is like nothing I've seen. I felt something ripple in me when I saw it. Not fear, recognition, like the ghost of a memory stepping ahead of me. I followed it, 10 meters, then 20, before it vanished in the shimmer of light. The ground swallowed it whole. And now I can't stop asking, who left it? Is it Elise? Was she ever truly gone? Or was she first? Is this planet some kind of echo chamber? Catching what we've lost and laying it gently in our path again? I've checked the capsule data logs. No breach, no foreign presence. But my body knows what it saw. And my heart, it's not ready to doubt it yet. This is Miles. Still walking in someone else's steps. Still wondering if I'm the one catching up. Or the one being followed. The broadcast system is down. Half the relays burned out in descent. No uplink, no loop back. So I've rerouted through a manual coil. Microwattage, no amplifier. I'm speaking into a signal no one should hear, but I sent it anyway. My name, my location, my breath. If you're there, I whispered. I made it. I didn't expect anything to come back. The sky here is too still. And then a pause, a crackle, and a voice, one I hadn't heard in years. Not Elise's, not mine. Different, but familiar. It said, "Welcome home, Miles." Not a glitch, not an echo, not synthetic. It knew my name. No coordinates followed, no threat. Just warmth. I've played it back 17 times. The inflection doesn't change. No variance. As if it had always been waiting for the exact moment I'd arrive. I don't know what this place is. A copy of Earth? A memory that learned to grow? Or something entirely other that chose to take her shape to comfort me? But whatever it is, it knows me. And that's enough. For now. This is Miles. Still here. Still surviving. And for the first time since the sky went silent, I think I'm not alone anymore.